In the quaint village of Elden Hollow, an ancient mill stood isolated by the thick, whispering woods that were said to be cursed. The locals steered clear of it, especially after dusk, for the mill was the heart of many grim tales. On a cold, moonless night, a group of 5 friends, fueled by tales of hidden treasures and dares, decided to explore the abandoned mill. As they approached, the eerie creak of the old wooden sign, swaying in the wind, welcomed them. Elden Mill, Eston 1783. They entered the mill, their flashlights casting long, sinister shadows across the walls. The air was thick with the musty smell of decay and old wood. The floorboards groaned under their feet, protesting each step they took deeper into the forgotten structure. "Did you guys hear that?" whispered Mia, the youngest, as a soft thump echoed through the vast chamber. Her voice trembled, betraying her fear. "It's just the wind," replied Alex, trying to sound sure, though his voice cracked. They continued, each room more dilapidated than the last, until they reached the heart of the mill, the old stone grinding room. Here, the air felt colder, heavier. Suddenly, their lights flickered. A chill swept through the room as if the darkness itself was alive, breathing a cold, dead breath. Before they could react, the lights died out, plunging them into oppressive darkness. "Stay calm," said Tom, fumbling with his flashlight. But the silence that followed was broken by a soft, sinister giggle that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. "Who's there?" called out Sarah, her voice echoing off the stone walls. No reply came, only the sound of their own breathing and the distant drip of water. Then, without warning, a horrifying shriek tore through the mill, sending them scrambling for the exit. They pushed through the darkness, tripping over debris, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they neared the exit, a figure materialized in the dim light, a girl, no older than 7, with hollow eyes and a ragged dress. She stood silently, blocking their path, her gaze piercing through them. "Help me," she whispered, her voice hoarse. Her eyes, empty of life, stared intently at Mia. Frozen with fear, Mia couldn't move. The girl slowly reached out a hand, her fingers unnaturally long and twisted. Just as her fingers were about to touch Mia, Tom grabbed Mia and pulled her away, breaking the spell of terror. They burst out of the mill, gasping for air, and didn't stop running until they reached the safety of their homes. But the true horror awaited Mia that night. As she lay in her bed, trying to convince herself it was just their imagination, she heard a faint whisper from the dark corner of her room. "Thank you for visiting me." From that night on, Mia's sleep was haunted by nightmares of the girl from the mill. Her once cheerful demeanor darkened, and her eyes, much like the girl's, grew increasingly vacant. Her friends noticed the change, but could do nothing to help her. A week later, Mia disappeared. Her room was found untouched, except for a small old millstone left on her bed. The police searched for weeks, but no trace of her was ever found. Elden Hollow grieved the loss of Mia, and the mill, once merely an eerie landmark, became a place of true horror. Years have passed since that fateful night, but it is said that on moonless nights, you can still hear Mia's voice whispering through the trees, mingling with that of the little girls, forever trapped in the shadows of Elden Mill.